So I've been reading the comments on a video that unexpectedly is getting a lot of attention, and I'm quickly realizing that we just out here traumatizing each other. And it's really easy to see yourself as a victim when you're hurt, but sometimes the case is that you may have good intentions, but you're also bringing in your own unhealing into a friendship, and you're traumatizing the person that you're trying to be friends with your unhealed behaviors that maybe exist because you're trying not to get hurt. This video is for people who are healing from trauma or a bad experience in a friendship or relationship and trying to be friends with other people. And I'm going to give some tips for how to do that. And my first tip is to pick the right friends, which could be really hard if you've had relational trauma in your past because we seem to be drawn to troubled people. I think this comes from just feeling like you can relate to someone else's experiences, especially if they've been bad experiences. But these days, I kind of look for friends who have different experiences than mine, maybe who grew up in a really healthy and warm family environment, or someone who has some similar experience as mine, but has done a lot of work and a lot of healing, and you can see it very clearly in the way they treat other people and how they speak about their experiences. Number two, when you're getting to know someone new, a potential new friend, do things. Focus on doing activities where you're actually doing stuff. Stay away from meeting up and doing things where all you're doing is talking. Sometimes when we're getting to know new people, we have a tendency to trauma dump on people that we barely know, and that can also make you feel a little bit exposed and vulnerable in those friendships, especially in the beginning stage. And if the friendship doesn't work out and you're like, oh, I just told them all this personal stuff and maybe they're judging and blah, blah, blah. But that can cause us to really get in our heads about how people think about us. We really want to just kind of get to know people gradually. Number three, listen, don't talk. This could be really challenging because it's very natural when you're meeting somebody or you're getting to know someone new and they're talking about their life and their experiences. It's so easy just to be like, me too, and then go back and go into your experience and then turn the whole conversation around on you. But really practice listening to other people, letting them share their experience, even if they share something that you've experienced too or you have in common. Let that come up at a different time when you share that part of yourself, but really get used to just listening to people and hearing out who they are and getting to know how they process, how they think. This is also going to help you determine if this is a safe person for you to have a friendship with. Don't be so eager to give someone all this information about you, like you're needing their acceptance. And that's another thing that sometimes we have a tendency to do when we've been in a traumatic or emotionally abusive friendship or relationship, is we're really seeking for the approval of others. So this will help you kind of learn how to just be grounded in yourself and comfortable with who you are, and just get to know someone else by listening to them and their experiences without feeling like you need to sell them on who you are. Number four, set boundaries. And I personally believe that boundary setting happens within yourself. It's really important to know what your emotional limits are. It's really important to know what your social limits are. It's really important to know what your limits are so that as things come up, you're able to gauge when it's time for you to either go home or communicate with your friend that you kind of hit your limit and you maybe need to revisit the conversation later. You set boundaries with yourself so that you can be an open communicator. It's important for you to know when you need space, because sometimes we don't set those boundaries with ourselves and then we just get overwhelmed with people and then we hit our limit and we react in negative ways that we're not proud of. So as long as you know what your limits are and your boundaries are, you can manage yourself, because it's pretty much impossible to ever manage anybody else. So that's why I always say that boundaries are things that you are setting with yourself. Number five, follow up if a friend shares something with you. Let's say your friend lets you know that they're having a surgery or something like that. You want to make sure you follow up with them in a couple days. Hey, how did your surgery go? I've been thinking about you. You've been on my head. I know you said you were going through something with your mom the other day, and how's everything going? Reach out and remember when your friends are sharing things with you that they are going through, and make sure that you follow up with them. Sometimes when we've experienced trauma or emotional neglect in prior relationships, we can become pretty needy and self-centered. We can start to think that it's everyone's job to take care of us because we've self-neglected for so long. So we look for other people to care for us in our relationships, and we forget that that's a two-way street, and we're also supposed to be reciprocating that care and attention and compassion to other people. Yes, we need it. Yes, we need better experiences and good experiences to replace the bad, but we also need to be able to give that to our friends as well. And it's around here. I forget what number I'm on, but number whatever. Communicate openly. Once you start feeling comfortable with this person, like this is a safe person for you to be in relation with, and you could see yourself being friends with this person, you don't see a lot of behaviors that could trigger you or that are just unhealthy, or that, then you may want to communicate with this person that you're working through some experiences that have been negative, and it may cause you to react in certain ways to situations, and that you're just asking for a little bit of patience, and that you are, working on it, and however you're working on it. You don't really need to go into detail about what happened. You do want to stay away from trauma dumping on people, but depending on how safe you feel and how far you've come along in your friendship, you do want to start communicating with them that you are working on some things, and that there have been experiences in your past that may cause you to react in ways that you're working on, just so your friend knows, and they can maybe be patient with you. If this is a good person for you to be in your life, they'll probably be patient with you and understand if you make a mistake. Finally, stay connected. And being connected on Facebook does not count. Just because you see your friend doing all these things on Facebook and you're liking their stories or you're connecting with them through the social media apps doesn't mean you're staying connected. Sometimes we have a tendency to isolate or expect the other person to always reach out to us, like we're afraid that we might be bothering somebody, or we just have all this stuff that's just stuck in our head from the past emotional abuse that we've experienced from a friend. But with this new person, you want to make sure that you stay connected. It should be reciprocal and equal. They're reaching out to you, you're reaching out to them. Don't put the burden on them to always be the one to have to reach out to you. You can reach out to your friend as well if you haven't heard from them in a while. Don't assume that you haven't heard from them in a while because you did something wrong, or they're mad, or they don't care about you. If you're thinking, hey, I haven't heard from them in a while, I wonder what's going on, that might be a good indicator that it's time to reach out to your friend. These are just a few tips that I'm working on as I'm developing some new friendships, and I hope this helps. Bye.